Home sellers are gaining strength in the real estate market again. Hi, it's John Whelan and welcome back to my How's the Delray Beach Real Estate Market Update for April 2023. Everything for the last 9 months has been going in one direction in this market, and last month in April it started to break. The market has flipped, and I'm going to show you 5 charts that'll give you the evidence of what is going on in this real estate market and how it's changing back from a buyer's market all of a sudden to a seller's market. And I'm going to give you another couple pieces of data that you're going to want to stick around for. Let's get started. Okay, I'm going to show you these 5 charts, but to start, I'm going to show you these 3 that have an identical curve and formation. It's the absorption rate, the number of new listings, and the days on market. Let's take a look at absorption rate. Reminder, absorption rate means if not one new property was put on the market, how many months would it take for all the properties to sell? So take a look at the absorption rate. For the last almost year, it's been going up almost in a straight line. And last month, it made its curve. And finally, for this first month, we started to see it retreat. That's something to note. Next chart is the number of new listings. The same thing for the last year, up. Now it has this beautiful curve. And the last month, it was down 5.7%. So that's something to take a look at. And the last chart finally is the days on market. I've been writing about days on market ad nauseum in my weekly e-letter for the last year, talking about the rise of inventory was going to do what? Help buyers because they're going to put a softening on the sellers as well. Well, for the last year, inventory went up. And last month, what did it do? Just like the others, it finally broke the trend line and came down. Think about this. If you were a buyer, I was almost going to short you as a stock for the last year. But now that we see the trend lines break and they're going down, that means, maybe the buyers are starting to lose the upper hand. And if the trends of these 3 charts continue to go down, we might see sellers get back in the saddle and get more momentum in the market as we move forward. Now let's take a look at the next 2 charts, which bode well for sellers and have the same similar formation and look and feel. Let's take a look at these 2 together. First are the median list prices. As I told you last month, it's been coming down for the last 6 months from $465,000 to $355,000. And for the last 3 months, it has stabilized or it has created a support line. If you're a stock trader, you'll understand what a support line is. It's meaning it's not going to go below something where there's a line that could hold it at that point. And if we take a look at the number of listings earlier, how they are now softening, well, if listings start to soften, that should do what? Lower the number of listings in the market, which should hold prices, and maybe we'll see prices start to rise. Listing price information right now is very interesting to take a look at. The next one is the sold to list ratio. For example, if you listed a house for $100,000 and it sold for $100,000, that's a 100% sold to list ratio. Several months back, last year, that was the case. It is eroded to, as you can see, between 92 and 96%. So there's been weakness in sellers. But we've seen this bottom out, starting to create a bottom formation. And it looks like it's actually going up now, which bodes for what? Sellers. With less inventory on the marketplace and listing prices starting to stabilize, sellers are starting to get the number that they want. So let's summarize those 5 charts. For the last year, they have been going in the direction and in favor of buyers. With more inventory coming up, we were seeing price drops on a daily basis. You saw it in this chart here. Things were certainly in favor of buyers, but these charts and what's happening in the marketplace, talking to other realtors every day, we're starting to see a shift in the mentality and the psychology of what's happening in the marketplace. Buyers are starting to lose a little bit of the momentum that they had. Now it's showing up in the data, and we might get more support and in favor of sellers as we go over the next quarter, second quarter, and going into third quarter. And if you're more curious about that, every week I write about all this on a micro level about what's happening in Delray Beach specifically and other things about Delray Beach. I put it out every Wednesday in my weekly e-letter. If you'd like to get a copy of that for free, down below is my information. Give me your email. If you want to give me your phone number, no problem, but I'll make sure I'll add you to my list and you'll get on the next mailing of my weekly e-letter. Speaking of my weekly e-letter, I just want to give you a sample of what I write about to my subscribers. Take a look at this. I have a weekly inventory update where it showed, 4 years ago there were 54,000 properties available in South Florida. Then it bottomed in February of 2022, about a 73% drop. Then all of last year, 2022, it rose again by 102%, which that means when inventory is rising, what? It puts weakness on prices. And then as you can see there in bold, inventory is down 15 weeks in a row. So while that has been happening, it didn't show up in the reports, but now it's in the reports. And when inventory is down 15 weeks in a row, that does one thing. It supports prices and it gives sellers a little bit more oomph in the marketplace. So as we put a closure on today's update, I wanted to share with you just 2 pieces of information I thought that would be important, of course, for buyers because these are you, but also for sellers. And if you're not paying attention to this information, it is something you think about when you are thinking about selling your home and choosing the right agent to do that. Let's take a look at this. The first chart are the top 10 move to cities. That means where people are moving into. As you can see, Miami has a net inflow from people coming from New York City. Tampa, number 4, has 6,000 people coming in for the top city, also from New York City. Orlando, people are coming from New York City. Cape Coral, they're coming from Chicago. And the Sarasota area, they're also coming from Chicago. So people are leaving those cities, and specifically en masse, those are the top areas that they're moving to. The next chart or information, take a look at, this is the top 10 move out of. That means people are leaving New York, as you can see. 23,000 people have left New York to go to Miami. Washington, D.C., 18,000 are leaving there going to the Miami area. Boston, almost 6,000 left going to Miami. And Chicago, 4,500 have left and gone to the Cape Coral area. So as you can see, when you as a seller are looking to sell and market your property, you want an agent who is spending money on the places where those buyers are coming from. You want to get as many eyeballs on your property, so you want your agent to be marketing in the areas where they're leaving to hopefully catch them as they're entering your marketplace. That's specifically what I do. I do a lot of spending in my YouTube as well as my Google and Facebook pages. I'm here to look specifically where I'm going to capture the most eyeballs for buyers that are come down to get your house. I hope that's valuable for you. It's something I do for all of my home sellers. And if you're thinking about hiring or you need my services, all my information is below. Please give me a call, send me a text. I'd love to get a cup of coffee with you, and I will see you next month when we talk about what happened in the month of May.